MaximumRD here. I'm doing this video response for Mark Vahir. I decided to do this response because as soon as I saw the title, I immediately pop. Things started clicking in my brain. And to be honest, I'm going to give you an example of 3 video game memories. And honestly, it's one of those things kind of like, where do I start? I figured I'd hop on here right away and get my response done, because if I don't, I'll literally come up with hundreds of responses. But here's 3. I'm already thinking of more. Here's 3 that immediately popped into my head that I would like to share with you. The first one being, we all remember Zelda, A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo. That was an awesome game, obviously. And here's what happened. I was at home playing it using my NES Advantage joystick. Great controller. And, you know, I'm playing the game. Now, some of you may know what I'm already leading up to. I found, and if you don't know about this already, it's cool. I found the Chris Houlihan room. The Chris Houlihan room. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Now, some of you automatically know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to just read you this little piece from an article. I'll enclose a link. Chris Houlihan room. The Chris Houlihan room is a very well hidden secret of the game, A Link to the Past. After winning a contest for the gaming magazine Nintendo Power, Chris Houlihan received the grand prize that can be considered a Zelda fan's dream come true. A cameo appearance in the game A Link to the Past. In order to reach this room, a series of well-timed dashes using the Pegasus boots, starting from the Sanctuary all the way to the secret entrance from the first time Link entered Hyrule Castle's dungeon, are required. If executed correctly, Link will find himself in an underground room with 45 blue rupees scattered all over the floor. A telepathic tile on the back wall. When read, displays the message, "My name is Chris Houlihan. This is my top secret room. Keep it between us, okay?" A possible reference to the famous quote from The Legend of Zelda. While the room exists in the Game Boy Advance version of the game, Chris Houlihan's name is not mentioned. So, there you have it. This Chris Houlihan fellow won a contest in Nintendo Power magazine and had his name inserted in this secret room in the game. Now, but here's the thing about that. You have to consider that this was back in the day. You know, we didn't have the level of internet sophistication that we have nowadays. There weren't all these game facts and, you know, things like that. And not to mention, basically, if you needed to acquire codes or information about a game or things like that, you either got it through, you know, maybe Nintendo Power magazine, which I didn't have a subscription to. I would be lucky if I picked up the odd one here and there. Or it was word of mouth through a friend or what have you. And keeping that in mind, word of mouth, I mean, how many of you would hear from your friend who heard from a kid's neighbor's son about something fantastic in some game, one of the latest hot cool games, and then you would hear about how to do some trick or gain some life or extra room, find a secret room or something like that, and you would attempt to do whatever was required to you know, to find this hidden secret in the game. And how many times this always turned out to be nonsense, right? So you got to keep that in mind when you consider, right away, I freaked out when I found this secret room in the game that I had no, I had no concept of. I didn't know what was going on. I'm just playing the game, enjoying it, casually, having lots of fun. Suddenly, I jumped down into the room and not ending up where I expect to be. Suddenly, I'm in this secret room, a room I had never seen, and then I find all these rupees and see this plaque on the wall with this kid's name. I was freaked out. I called. I think it was in the instruction manual or something. I don't know where I gotten a number, but I gotten a Nintendo hotline number, and I called them because I felt that I had discovered something that nobody knew about, which, looking back on it now, of course, is absolutely ridiculous, right? But you're young, you're young, you're excited, you don't realize what's going on, and you think you've found some secret treasure. And I called this Nintendo hotline, and basically I got through. It was some 1-800 number or something, and the guy on the hotline was like, "Yeah, hey, congratulations, you discovered the secret room." And I was like, "Wow, really? So cool, So yeah. The next day I went to school and I'm telling everyone about this. Nobody believes me. I guess not a lot of people had discovered it by then. So I'm miserable because, again, back in those days, I didn't have much. I didn't have a VCR. I couldn't have recorded it. I didn't have a video camera. Although if I would have had a video camera, it would have probably been some big, giant, bulky VHS model. And so, I couldn't shoot the screen. There was no way to capture the screen or record it or anything like that back in those days. At least, not for me in any way. So what did I do? Now, I just read the article to you, and it tells you how you obtain it. I had no idea how I had gotten there. I had no idea how I found this secret room in the game. So I never discovered it again. And as time went on, I seriously started to doubt it ever happened. I honestly didn't even think it occurred. I was thinking it was just the imagination of a young mind, basically. And it was only years later, reading, online and in forums and articles, that I discovered that this was an actual secret room in the game. So that's one that always sticks in my mind. As soon as I think of Super Nintendo Zelda, that pops into my mind right away. So that's the number one one. The second one, I'll take it down from here. This won't take long at all. Is basically the first time I played NES Metroid. Loved that game. Again, one of the great classics. Basically, I had a friend staying over, and we were playing video games all day, and then it come to the point where I popped in Metroid, and I started playing, and we both liked it. We both liked it, but I really loved it. I had played nothing like that prior on the NES. So I kept playing and playing, and hours were going by and hours were going by, and my mom brought us up some things to snack on and stuff like that. Anyway, finally got to the point where my friend, he passes out from exhaustion, basically, just goes to sleep. He's getting tired of watching me play, basically, and I was like, I kept playing and playing and playing, and bottom line, and I just have to set the tone here. I'm not a hardcore player. I've never been like, big into like competing or whatever. I just play the game. And for the most part, I'm, somewhere between average and suck, okay? So, but it doesn't matter to me because I just play games for fun and relaxation and just enjoy it, take my time. I've always been that way, always will be. I'm actually quite impressed by the way some of you can do these speed runs and things like that. So, just to wrap it up, it basically took me 18 hours to finish the Metroid NES. But I completed it, and I saw the final stage and defeated the boss, and then, you know, the place was blowing up. I had to get out of there, and etc. And I completed the game. I completed it, and I looked after, like, I'm all excited and, you know, exhausted at the same time, and I looked down at my friend. I'm like, Harry, wake up, wake up, wake up. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, I just finished the game. I finished the game. It was awesome. And he's like, oh, that's nice. And then he just, like, goes back to sleep, right? And I'm like, to me, I'm like, how can you sleep? This is the most awesome thing, you know? But, yeah, so that's two. And the third one, and I want to mention this one, that this was quite a few years prior to either of those events. Basically, it's just a fond memory. And I say that because, especially in that time period, like, I would say, well, pretty much my whole life up to my early teens and until I got working myself. Not to make a sob story, but, you know, I never had much. Certainly, don't take it the wrong way, I never was cold or went hungry or anything like that. But I never had an excess of things, you know, not like a lot of kids do today. So what happened was, for a short time, we had a fairly rich uncle staying with us in town. And bottom line, long story short, that Christmas, and again, this is a kid who normally got, you know, maybe I got some clothes, you know, pajamas, that's sleepwear. I don't know how that translates to most people around the world. But, you know, and I would get some clothes and be maybe one little Lego toy or something like that. And to me, that was like, wow, this is great. I'm so lucky and I'm happy to have this. But that Christmas, man, my uncle, I wish he would have stayed with us more often, because that Christmas morning I woke up and I went downstairs. There was this big, huge box sitting there that was for me, and I couldn't believe it. And all these other little boxes. Bottom line, I tore this open, you know, as this young kid, and I couldn't believe it. It was a brand new, and I think this might have a lot to do with why, to this day, it's my favorite classic gaming system. But it was a ColecoVision, brand new in the box. ColecoVision with Donkey Kong. Like, again, for someone in my situation, you can imagine how happy I was. Greatest Christmas ever. But then, on top of that, wrapped separately, each one, I would open it up. There would be a game inside, and another game, and another game. I had, like, this one was probably more for my folks, but I had, like, Ken Houston Blackjack Poker. Okay, that's pretty cool. Wasn't too much into cards at that age. But the other games I ripped open, Popeye, Mr. Do, which to this day is still my favorite game. I had Venture, Donkey Kong Jr., Star Wars Arcade, Q*bert, Frogger, and a few others that don't immediately come to mind. But mind blown, okay? It was like, oh, I don't have much. Now I pretty much have an arcade in my house. I was blown away. So, very happy memory. So there's three for you from MaximumRD. Thanks, Mark, for the tag. He didn't tag me. He generally doesn't tag people, but I saw his video because I'm subscribed to him and was immediately compelled to relate those three video gaming memories. So thanks for listening. Thanks for allowing me to share those great memories. And Rob, MaximumRD out. Bye.